Broadcasting for a worldwide audience.
Good morning, this is Swazzy Rogers and you're listening to Saturday Live, and you have two for the price of one today because you also
lucky
got...
this week. I've actually managed to get Nick in the studio.
You might want to stop CD1.
Sorry.
Yeah, I am here.
Yes.
And I've just realised I haven't put my phone on silent as well.
We're going to get lots of
Neither of us are
noises.
very organised this morning.
Yeah, we're both a little bit phased at the moment for all sorts of reasons. So, yeah, we haven't done a show together in how long? Well, since
I don't
before
know.
Christmas.
I've slept since then.
Not since before Christmas, I don't think so. It's been a little while. And it's been a couple of weeks since I've been in the studio, so I've missed being down here. It's quite sunny today. Last time I came, it was like a blizzard. Not a blizzard, it was quite windy, and I remember coming in feeling very windswept. So it's got better. It's definitely got better since then. So we've got loads to cover today, haven't we?
We have indeed. We've got whatever you've got planned.
Reviews.
Because I haven't got a clue. And we've got some excellent interviews done by our very own John Russell. One of them very important about Tom Paine. Ian Ruskin has done a one-man play about the life and times of Tom Paine, and he's bringing it home to Lewes.
Fantastic.
It'll be here on the 27th of April. We'll tell you about that later on. And there's a couple more as well. Another event that's going to happen at the depot, and one that's going to happen here at Westgate.
Fantastic. So we've got a fair bit going on.
Yeah.
And it's now the Easter holidays, so in case you're wondering why the roads were a bit clearer, that's why. People have gone away for the Easter holidays. There's kids from my son's school. Some of them have gone skiing. I'm super jealous because I love skiing, but actually when the weather's nice like this, it's nice to be here, isn't it? And lots of other children have gone away on holiday. We're not going anywhere. My kids are going to camp and they'll enjoy that. I told them they'll enjoy that, whether they know about it or not, and all sorts of stuff going on. So, yeah, I'll be telling you about The Lady Vanishes, which I went to see at Bromley. I'll be giving you a preview of a couple of the shows that are coming up and, playing you some music. So I think I probably mentioned, having hit the mic, the year before last, Bananarama toured for the first time in I don't know how many years. And I went to see them with my friend Carol, and this sort of seemed to preempt a return for them. And sure enough, they've produced a new song, they've produced a new album, and it's been getting a lot of play on radio, so I thought we'd start the show with that. Why not? There you go. That's the new Bananarama. I can't hear myself. There we go. That's a bit better. Yes, that's the new Bananarama song. It sounds not that dissimilar to how they sounded 30 years ago, I'm guessing.
It's not bad.
And there's just the two of them on this single cover. So I'm guessing that Siobhan, having kind of appeared in the tour, has decided to continue doing her own thing. I always preferred Shakespeare's sister anyway. I thought they were great. But Bananarama have a nostalgic sort of thing for me as well. So there you go. I previewed a couple of shows that were going to be on at Bromley as part of their thriller season. So I am going to be giving you a review of The Lady Vanishes, which I went to see a couple of weeks ago. And then I'm going to be going to see... I was supposed to go and see Hair, but some stuff came up, so didn't get to see Hair. I am going to be going to see Rocky Horror again. And in my head, I'm trying to think of the other one, Full Monty. So they're all shows that I've seen and reviewed already. The new ones that are coming up are not for a little while. So there is The Lady Vanishes, which I've already seen, and then there's going to be The Turn of the Screw, which is the Henry James story, which is also going to be in Bromley. So they're kind of ramping up for the spring-summer season when there's going to be a lot of bigger shows coming up. But I think over the Easter break... there are going to be some kids' shows coming up as well. And we've got things like the Easter egg hunt at Hampton Court Palace. Now, I know Hampton Court isn't on the doorstep, but if you are able to get to Hampton Court or even Kensington Palace, they have the Lindt Chocolate Bunny Easter Egg Trail, where you look up the Easter eggs, the Easter bunnies on the site, and then at the end of it, you get a chocolate egg. Now, because I work at Hampton Court, I have been reliably informed that all of the leftover bunnies make their way to our office afterwards. So apparently we get the leftover bunnies, and they hang around for a very long time. But I'm going to take my children along. And the other thing is the Magic Garden, which is at Hampton Court Palace, has just opened for the summer season. It is very, very popular. If you are going to take your youngsters to the Magic Garden, I would suggest getting there early, because once it gets full, they do actually stop letting people in. And in the morning, it does get quite packed. So it's like Peppa Pig World. We were given some really good advice for Peppa Pig World when my kids were very little, which was don't go in the morning, because everyone goes in the morning and it's chaos. Go in the afternoon. And it's really good advice. So if you get there about lunchtime, everyone stops for lunch and then everyone goes home because their kids are tired. So if you get there in the afternoon, you don't have to queue for anything.
Do you know what? I found that at Longleat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not stupid enough to take my car through the
No.
safari park. So we booked the afternoon bus.
Yeah.
And although you don't go through the monkeys because they don't want their bus destroyed.
No, that's fair enough.
You see everything else, and because you're the last bus of the day, you get more time.
Yes.
You get to feed giraffes,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
That is brilliant.
And everybody else has cleared off.
Yeah.
So you get a bus to yourself.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because I think everyone aims for early and then they're annoyed because it's busy. But it's the same for any kind of visitor attraction. Everyone gets there early and it is just busy. Later on in the day, it's just a little bit more bearable. I think the exception to that is probably the Tower of London. I work there once a week and it's just busy all day. It's just chaotic all day. Earlier the better, actually, for Tower of London, especially if you want to go and see the Crown Jewels. Now, we've promised you a couple of interviews, so I'm going to play another song. And then, Ben, tell us about the first interview that we're going to play after this song.
It is the one-man play by Ian Ruskin, To Begin the World Over Again. It's the life and times of Thomas Paine. It's going to be at the All Saints Centre here in Lewes on the 27th of April, 7:30. Tickets are £12 and £8 for the under 25s. He's really trying to get young people engaged.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Available at Union Music Store, Lewes Tourist Information Centre, and wegottickets.com. And Thomas Paine, for those of you who don't know, spent some of his early life here in Lewes. In fact, he lived in Ball House, which is attached to this very place we broadcast from. And he developed some of his political ideas while he was here working for the excisemen. So, yes, there'll be an interview with Thomas Paine. Not Thomas Paine. With Ian Ruskin about Thomas Paine.
Yeah.
With our own John Russell.
In fact, I'm going to play that now and then we'll play a piece of music afterwards. So get yourself a cup of tea and enjoy this.
Nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening?
Have I done the right thing? Oh!
Play some music, we'll sort this out.
We'll play some music and we'll work out what's going on. I'm going to play you Art Brut. Now, I told you that we went to see Art Brut a couple of weeks ago down in Southampton. Eddie Argos is a total legend. He's a brilliant entertainer. And I love this band and I love this song.
There's a unique opportunity to hear the words of Thomas Paine and explore the ideas of this 18th century political philosopher when actor Ian Ruskin brings his production Thomas Paine's To Begin the World Over Again. And here's a sample.
There were those in the America of my time, and I believe perhaps in the America of your time, who were beginning to contemplate government as a profitable monopoly, to take money to the rich from the cost of the rest of us. See, John Adams, he said that America, the United States, should be governed by a few of the most wise and best, the rich and well-born and able. Alexander Hamilton said that the rich and well-born should have a distinct permanent place in government to check the imprudence of democracy. A republic must be a republic not just in principles, but in reality.
Leaping from the stage, delighting audiences in America, Ian Ruskin's acclaimed one-man play brings Thomas Paine home to Lewes, where his eloquence as a debater became finely tuned 250 years ago. Paine went on to change the world with the wit and vision of his pen. He was one of the world's greatest writers and worst politicians. Would it prove to be a deadly combination? It's one of the questions that Ian Ruskin poses in his new play, Thomas Paine's To Begin the World Over Again. Now, I'm very pleased to welcome Ian Ruskin on the line from Los Angeles, because, of course, Tom Paine spent part of his earlier life in Lewes, and in fact had a connection with Westgate Chapel, which is where Radio Lewes is actually based. And it's called the Thomas Paine's To Begin the World Over Again. Now, how did this come about, Ian? What's the genesis of the idea?
Well, what happened was, I'm an actor living in English actor, obviously living in Los Angeles. I had written a one-man play about an Australian Labour leader who came to California called Harry Bridges. And he was a very visionary left-wing Labour leader, and I really was very inspired by his political philosophy. And then someone having seen, in fact, 3 different people within a weekend, having seen the play about Harry Bridges, said to me, well, you should do a play about Thomas Paine. And I did not know very much about Thomas Paine. And I read one biography and was completely hooked on the man. Just one of the most fascinating, I think, characters in history. There's a connection to Harry Bridges in that I'm now spending my life, it seems, writing plays about men from American and European history who are greatly misunderstood.
Right, yeah.
And have never, if you like, got their just deserts for their contributions to the world. And Paine certainly fits into that category. The more I read about him, the more amazed I was by his political positions, by the way his mind worked politically, in the the second half of the 1700s. And the more fascinated I became by his life. He was a very interesting, complex man, which I certainly think and hope comes through in the play. But it was those original 3 people who, I say, in the space of a weekend, all said, well, you should do Thomas Paine next. And that was actually what led me to Thomas Paine.
Where do we get tickets? That's the important thing that people want to know.
Yes. The Union Music Store.
Oh, yeah, that's Dell down
at... everyone in Lewes knows.
Well, we've got a very close connection with Dell, yeah.
The Lewes Tourist Information Centre.
Yeah, the TIC,
I'm sure everyone knows.
Yeah.
And also wegottickets.com.
Okay, yeah.
So, if you want to get them online as opposed to going and buying them, those are the 3 sites. They actually have the tickets. The tickets have arrived.
Good.
There will be posters and flyers going up around the town.
Uh-huh.
I have a dear friend who lives in Lewes who's doing that for me. But yeah, the tickets are at those 3 venues. So go buy them.
So Thomas Paine is indeed coming home to Lewes. That's at the All Saints Centre on April the 27th this year at 7:30 p.m. Ian Ruskin's Tom Paine's To Begin the World Over Again.
Ali.
Oh dear. 2 of us, and we still can't do it properly.
There is a longer version of that interview available on our website, so you can get a bit more information about the play itself, and it's well worth a listen. There is a special interviews folder now on our website, and the other 2 that we're going to play you later are in there as well. Just to recap, that's at the All Saints Centre here in Lewes on the 27th of April at 7:30. Tickets £12 or £8 for the under 25s. I think that's a remarkable move to try and encourage some younger people to get a bit of political history. Available at Union Music Store, Lewes Tourist Information Centre and wegottickets.com. And that is Thomas Paine's To Begin the World Over Again by Ian Ruskin.
Fantastic. I'm going to see what I'm doing on that day. I'm trying to remember. It's a Saturday, isn't it? I can be here.
I think it is.
I have a feeling that I'm coming in to do Saturday Live anyway. I need to work it out. Need to sort it all out. Now, I'm going to be playing Mavis Staples next. Mavis Staples, who I heard being interviewed on radio yesterday, She has the most incredible voice. She is, of course, Mavis Staples of the Staples Singers, who were started out as a gospel act, who were encouraged by Dr. Martin Luther King to kind of bring the message of politics and equality for black people in America, thanks to her father, Pa Staples, who was a good friend of Martin Luther King. And she went on to work with some amazing artists. She first came into my consciousness because she performed with Prince, who, as you probably know, I completely adore. And that's when I first heard about her. And much to my shame, I hadn't heard about her before then. But she was being interviewed yesterday on the radio, and she's incredible. She's so energetic, so full of amazing stories, and has a fantastic voice. And she's made a new album. And this song is one that was produced by Ben Harper. He's a very talented young musician. I don't know how young he is now. And it's called Change.
Gotta change around here. Gotta change around here. Can't go on this way. Things gotta change around here. Say it loud, say it clear. Things gonna change around here. Fingers on the trigger around here. Fingers on the trigger around here. Bullets flying, mothers crying. We gotta change around here. Get it straight, be sure that you hear. Things gonna change around here. What good is freedom if we haven't learned to be free? What good is freedom if we haven't learned to be free? Day after day, year after year, we're gonna change around here. Is the letter, blue is the color, 1 is the number, now is the time. Gonna change around here, gotta change around here. Say it loud, say it clear, we gotta change around here. Gotta change around here, gotta change around here. Yeah. Lord, gotta change around here. Say it loud, say it clear. We gotta change around here.
Oh, I like that.
It's good, isn't it? Isn't the guitar in that just epic?
It is.
That's very, very good. Mavis Staples, brilliant singer, and by all accounts, a fun interviewee. Now, we were just talking about The Lady Vanishes, which is... do you want to admit to it being...
Yes, I will. It is a guilty pleasure of mine. I love the movie version with Elliot Gould and Angela Lansbury. And I have seen it on stage as well, but I'm afraid I did sit there comparing.
Inevitably, you do. I mean, it's like when I went to see the stage show of Dirty Dancing the first time, and I wasn't happy because it didn't line by line match the movie. That's not the same thing, obviously. The Lady Vanishes and Dirty Dancing are nothing like, but. You can't help it. It's like when people go and watch a movie and they go, "Oh, it's nothing like the book." I did that with Trainspotting, which stands up on its own as a very, very, very good film. But the book was so much better for me.
I got very, very animatedly annoyed.
Did you?
About the Hobbit movies.
Oh yes, yeah.
In a determined effort, I can sit down and read The Hobbit in a day.
Oh, really? Wow.
And in my mind, there's only 2 stories in there. There's the journey out and the journey back.
Yeah.
And what happens in the middle. It's not 3 epic movies with a load of stuff that didn't happen in the book. I know you have to suspend that sort of thing, really, when a movie adaptation comes, because it's that based on is a very loose term.
But I think also when you're someone who is a super fan, as I think Peter Jackson always said he was, he wanted to tell every element of the story, and he wanted to go into a great deal of detail, which is what he did with The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and everything. He kind of went to an nth degree of detail, didn't he?
He didn't add anything extra to the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
No, but he wanted to kind of... I guess you then become, because Lord of the Rings did so much better than anyone expected, then when it came to The Hobbit, I guess it was, OK, let's add a flourish.
Yeah, several flourishes.
Anyway, we got distracted. We're supposed to be talking about The Lady Vanishes. And I'm just trying to get some stuff about it so I can tell you about the tour, which is... Oh, here we go. Right, The Lady Vanishes tour. Now, I saw it at the Churchill Theatre in Bromley. And considering that most of the film is set on a train, you do wonder how they're going to do this. I mean, we went to see The Railway Children a couple of years ago, and it was done with a screen at the back of the stage, which was the train. This involves the actors jiggling about on stage a bit, so that it looks like they're on a train. I'm doing it now. You can't obviously tell on the radio. But it's got some great bits of character acting by Robert Duncan, who you'll know from Drop the Dead Donkey. He's brilliant in it. And also, who's the other guy who's in it? Ben Nealon, who's been in things like Soldier Soldier. I recognise him, but I don't know why, probably from sort of things like this. But the lead parts, now Miss Froy is played by Juliette Mills, and she's very, very good. And Maxwell Coldfield plays Dr. Hartz. Now, Maxwell Coldfield and Juliette Mills very famously are married in real life. And everyone I told that I was going to see Maxwell Coldfield in this just said, oh, the Colbys. So he is very much known for the Colbys. And one of the other reviewers that was sitting with me said, oh, I loved him in Grease 2. And I just said, I'm really sorry, but Grease 2 is a travesty. We can't talk about this. We did disagree on this. I mean, if you're going to like a cheesy movie, at least like the original one, not the inferior sequel. So The Lady Vanishes is not inferior at all. It's an excellent production by the Classic Thriller Company. And as I said, it's part of this thriller season at Bromley, which started out with The Mousetrap, The Lady Vanishes, and then it's going to be The Turn of the Screw as well. If you know the story, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it is set on a train. And it is, would you call it a psychological thriller?
I don't know. It's an espionage thriller.
Yeah, definitely. You are confounded throughout the play. You are confounded thinking, how on earth has this happened? I mean, it's not giving anything away to say that a lady vanishes. That is the story.
I think the biggest question is, why are all these awful people after this sweet little old lady?
Yes. You do find yourself wondering, she is so very lovely. And as you say, when Angela Lansbury played her, you're kind of like going, come on, don't be so mean. And there are some odd characters on this train. I mean, Dr. Hartz is one of them, but there's also is he Italian? I'm just trying to think who the guy is there's the station about Signor Doppo. I think he's Italian. He's either Italian or Spanish. Very odd character. And Eric, who is the politician, I think he's a politician, who's there with his girlfriend, his mistress. A lot of shady characters on this train, and they're played really well. I mean, the acting is very, very good in this production. I would definitely recommend it. I'm trying to find out where it's going, which is why I'm kind of half paying attention. So I'm just going to get this for you. So The Lady Vanishes is touring, so... I'm just checking. It's going to be in Horsham on the 21st of October until Saturday the 26th of October. So if you want to see it in Horsham, that's when you can go later on in the year. It's going to be in Brighton at the Theatre Royal from November the 4th to November the 9th. And it's going to Coventry and various other places. Llandudno, Glasgow and Aberdeen. So it is going to be coming local, and I definitely would recommend seeing it because it is a great production. And we were trying to work it out. When me and Jill were going to the theatre, we were saying no, because we had our heads in the whole kind of Agatha Christie thing, but of course it was an Alfred Hitchcock film, wasn't it? So our memories were of the Alfred Hitchcock one, and as you say, Elliot Gould is very, very good in it. So I think it's a worthy stage show of a film that a lot of people will love. And if you've never, ever seen it, I think you'll definitely enjoy it. There are some things that when you go to see them in the theatre, if you've not seen them before. I mean, The Mousetrap, when I went to see, it's very, very popular. It's been around for a very long time. And I was watching it thinking, OK, but this isn't really my cup of tea. Whereas The Lady Vanishes, it's got enough thrills and kind of surprises in it that it kind of keeps you interested, and star casting aside, everyone who's in it does really, really well. So I would recommend this one. It's up there for me as being one of the better shows, and you know, we're already in April. Goodness me, I hadn't even realised we were that far after Christmas. So
it always surprises me when I sit down here to do the gig guide and we've suddenly run out a month and there's only 2 things left.
I know,
and then I have to gibber and make something up. So yeah, we are running out of early year already.
Exactly. It's going to be middle of the year before you know it. Now, I was talking earlier about film adaptations and sort of things that have made it to stage. I don't think anyone's made a stage version of Armageddon, but it's bound to be in someone's mind that they're going to do it. And the only reason I bring it up is because I remember going to someone's wedding and this was their first dance. And I thought, that's a lovely first dance, but I just keep thinking of Steven Tyler. I can't actually think of the couple dancing. I can only think of Steven Tyler singing I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Stay awake just to hear you breathing. Watch you smile while you are sleeping, while you're far away and dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. Don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream would never do. I'd still miss you, baby. Don't want to miss a thing. Lying close to you, feeling your heart beating, and I'm wondering what you're dreaming, wondering if it's me you're seeing. Then I kiss your eyes and thank God we're together. And I just wanna stay with you in this moment forever, forever and ever. I don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, baby, and I don't
You know, when you said you're thinking about Steven Tyler, I think, yeah, that's a face to kill any romance you might be feeling with that song, isn't it?
He's popular with the girls.
There must be a reason for that. I'm saying no more.
Not your type.
No, definitely not.
But it's really weird, isn't it? Because Liv Tyler, she looks a lot like him, but in a good way. You can see she's his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody was a bit more refined when they made that face, though.
Well, she wasn't the first one, was she? You know, yeah, sometimes you have to get one or two out of the way before you get the one right. I'm not saying that about my kids, obviously, because I think my children are perfection, if they're listening. And even if they're not, even if they're playing football. You've got another interview, haven't you?
Yes, we do. This is another music event. This one's happening. I can't remember the dates on this one, so then I haven't got my computer in front of me, I'm afraid. There's not enough room on the desk. It's going to happen at the depot. But he, again, sat down with John Russell, and he's going to tell us all about it.
When I press the button.
Radio Lewes. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.
Hello, this is John Russell in the Radio Lewes studio. It's my great pleasure to welcome Phil Clamo on the line. Hi, Phil.
Hi there, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Now, you were in Lewes in 2017 at the Con Club, and you're coming back this year, and you're appearing at the depot on the 9th of May.
I am indeed.
What are you going to be doing there, Phil?
Well, I'm going to be playing with a six-piece band, an amazing bunch of musicians, and we're going to be playing a series of pieces that each one has its own visual identity as well. So visual imagery is a really important part of what we do live, and each piece, as I say, will have its own related imagery, which will be changing depending on what we're doing on the night.
Fantastic. And people can see what that's all about by visiting your website, which is Philip Clemo, one L in the Philip, .com. And where can people get tickets?
They can get tickets through my website. On the front page of my website, I should just say, for anyone who doesn't know, the spelling of my surname is C-L-E-M-O. And they go to my website. On the front page, there's links to the three little concerts, or three mini tour concerts that I'm doing in May. And then they can also go directly to any of the websites of the individual venues.
Brilliant. I should have said normal spelling for Clemo, shouldn't I? Anyway, that's Philip with one L, Clemo, CLEMO.com for the tickets, and that's at the depot on the 9th of May. Thanks for talking to us, Phil.
You're very welcome.
Radio Lewes. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.
That was John talking to Phil Clemo. I'm just looking to see have we got Viva Lewes? You've got it there, haven't
right
you?
in front of me.
Aha. So, should we do some Viva Lewes bits? Tell people what's happening in the locale.
Yes, indeed. The gig of the month, which is on the... it's tomorrow, Sunday the 7th. It's Billy Rowan, a.k.a. the Undercover Hippie. He's on at the Con Club at 7:30. Tickets are £12. On a mission to make people think, laugh and dance simultaneously.
That's not
If
easy.
you try that too much, you might be sick. Be very careful. It's not easy to sum up his musical style, according to Viva Lewes. But Tom Robinson, BBC Six Music, has managed it pretty well. Beautifully produced, agit-prop, pulse, reggae flavoured rap. Like the love child of... Hang on, I've read the wrong line. I do apologise. Agit-pop, reggae flavoured rap. Like the love child of Steel Pulse, Kate Tempest and the Sleaford Mods. Hailing from a drum and bass background in 2007, Billy put down the decks and picked up his guitar. So there you go. He's going to be at the Con Club tomorrow night at 7:30. Also, there's an English dance tune session. Bring your own instruments. This is English traditional folk at the Volunteer. This is one of those events that Si's been banned from. He's not allowed to play his kazoo. And that one's free from 12 p.m. onwards. There's a jam night. All welcome, free drink, all participants, at the Lansdowne at 7:30, and that's our favourite price as well. Monday the 8th, you've got Charlotte Glasson. She's a Saxon multi-instrumental jazz musician at the Snowdrop, 8 p.m. That one's also free.
We're doing pretty well for free gigs at the moment, aren't we?
We're getting on very well in Lewes with free gigs. There's another one, Concertina's Anonymous Practice Session, Folk and Miscellaneous. That's at the Elephant and Castle, 8 p.m. Friday the 12th sees Bad Boy Boogie and AC/DC tribute at the Con Club at 9 p.m. I don't have a ticket price on that one, however. Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th sees the Leaky Buckets, I must put my teeth in, charity gigs in aid of the Chestnut Tree House. There's a cash bar and handmade pizzas. That's at Iford Hall, 7:30, and it's free. Saturday the 13th sees Cohen Braithwaite Kilcoyne, I think that's how you say his name. English Traditional Folk at the Elephant and Castle, 8 p.m, and £7 a ticket. And then at the Con Club, you've got Chelsea, punking the place up at 9 o'clock. Tickets are £12, I think, so I said. Sunday the 14th, Nick Turner's Space Rituals at the Con Club, 7:30, £16.50 a ticket for that one. And then Monday the 15th sees Christa Bell, Dream Pop at the Con Club, 7:30, and that one's £18. And the Snowdrop are hosting the Ben Chatworthy and with the John Donaldson Trio. There's a lot of jazz goes on at the Snowdrop. That one's 8 p.m, and again it's free. Wednesday the 17th sees Johnny Dowd at the Con Club. That's alternative country, 7:30 and £15 a ticket. They've also got Johnny Fairhurst doing blues rock at 9 p.m. on the 18th. Again, no price on that. Friday the 19th sees Dennis Primmitt and Peter Mahoy. Background jazz at the Half Moon Plumpton, 7 p.m. And again, that's our favourite price. There really are a lot of these. Saturday the 20th, Songs for Spring. Folk Open Night at the Elephant and Castle, 8 p.m, £4 a ticket for that one. Just a few more. Sunday the 21st and Monday the 22nd sees Sun Ra Orchestra, legendary jazz troupe, return to Lewes. They're at the Con Club at 8 p.m. That's £25.50. Monday the 22nd sees Jeff Simpkins, jazz alto sax player at the Snowdrop. That's 8 p.m. and free. And that'll do for now. I'll tell you the rest after another song.
So, yeah, there's quite a lot of gigs going on in the local area. If you like going out and listening to music and seeing bands, I'm going to be going to see a band at the Jazz Cafe next Friday called Jamaica Jazz. Now, I picked up on this because I saw that they were going to be performing and thought, oh, that sounds quite interesting. And so I'll let you know all about that afterwards. But the other exciting thing that's happening, and I mentioned this yesterday because I'd completely forgotten it, it kind of disappeared. I mentioned a while back that Michelle Obama was doing a book tour. Don't know why, because her book was in #1 in the bestseller list anyway. She didn't need to do a tour, but she was doing it. And so, because so many people couldn't make it to South Bank, they then sold tickets for the O2. And my lovely friend Carol has got us tickets to go and see Michelle Obama on the 13th. So I don't imagine we're even going to see... She's going to be a dot in the distance, I'm sure. But I'm looking forward to seeing that. And obviously, I was mentioning it to someone at work, and they're going as well. And she went, oh, I'm going to be there. And I thought, we're not going to bump into each other. I mean, how many people does the O2 hold? It's a fair few thousand, isn't it?
It is. It's not a pleasant venue either.
It's not. It's not a pleasant venue for music. So I don't go there for music because I don't like it. But having said that, I saw this guy at the O2 when he did his 32 nights there quite a few years ago, and he was epic. I had the closest seats I had were on the floor, which were probably about no more than 40 yards away from Prince, and the sound at that level was the worst of the whole venue. But it's the closest I've ever been to Prince. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. And he was amazing. To this day, I still think he's one of the most amazing performers I've ever seen. Eddie Argos is up there, but I still think Prince is #1.
Tracy died soon after a long-fought civil war. Just after I wiped away his last tear. I guess he's better off than he was before. A whole lot better off than the fools he left here. I used to cry for Tracy 'cause he was my only friend. Those kind of cars don't pass you every day. I used to cry for Tracy 'cause I wanted to see him again. But sometimes life ain't always the way. Sometimes it snows in April. Sometimes I feel so bad, so bad. Sometimes I wish that life was never ending. And all good things they say never last. Springtime was always my favorite time of year. A time for lovers holding hands in the rain. Now springtime only reminds me of Tracy's tears. Always cry for love, never cry for pain. He used to say so strong, oh, not afraid to die, unafraid of the death that left me hypnotized. You know, staring at his picture I realized no one could cry the way my Tracy cried. Sometimes it snows in April. Sometimes I feel so bad. Sometimes I wish that life was never ending. But all good things they say never last. I often dream of heaven, and I know that Tracy's there. I know that he has found another friend. Maybe he's found the answer to all the April snow. Maybe one day I'll see my Tracy again. Sometimes it snows in April. Sometimes I feel so bad, so bad. Sometimes I wish that life was never ending. But all good things they say never last. But all good things they say never isn't love until it's had.
Now, if you're wondering why I played such a morose song, partly it's because I always play very upbeat Prince songs, but also because that is one of my favourite Prince songs. Sometimes It Snows in April. Because whenever I tell people it snows in April, they never believe me. Now, on Wednesday, when I was at the Tower of London, it was snowing outside the window. And I pointed it out to people and they went, oh, it never snows. I said, no, it always snows in April. You just don't remember. Because in your imagination, April is sunny and warm, and it's not. So there you go. Prince wrote a song.
In my experience, April is wet and miserable usually.
It is.
But yes, it usually does snow at some point.
It does, exactly.
It might not hang around, but it does snow.
Yeah. When people say at Christmas, they know it won't snow at Christmas, but it will snow in March or April. And this prediction of mine has not been wrong in my lifetime so far. So there you go. We were just talking about Terry Pratchett. My very minor claim to fame is that I met Rhianna Pratchett, Terry's daughter, a few times. And I did actually interview Terry in about 1990. I think he was probably on his third or fourth book at the time, 90 or 91. Really, really lovely guy. Absolutely lovely man. He was doing a book signing in Coventry, and I went up and I said, would you be free to do an interview for me? I was working on some, it was like a really roughly produced magazine called Streetworm, and it was produced by a kind of IT geeky guy, and it was a guide to what's on in Coventry. And I said, can I do an interview with you? And he said, yeah, absolutely. Actually, no, I wasn't. That was how I met the geeky guy. And he said, yeah, no problem. Just wait until I finish signing these books and I'd be happy to give you an interview. And I kept saying, thank you so much. He said, stop saying thank you. He said, I'm just a normal person like anyone else. And that's how I got to meet the guy from Streetworm, who then gave me some work doing reviews. So there you go. My history gets all muddled up these days. But yes, Terry Pratchett, the man with the hat. Lovely man. We've got about 5 minutes till we need to go to Alexa, haven't we? Are you going to do a quick roundup?
Yeah, we're going to have the rest of this gig guide. I got to Monday the 22nd. That was Jeff Simpkins, his jazz at the Snowdrop. So Tuesday the 23rd, Joey Landrath and Band, that's roots rock guitar and vocals at the Con Club, 7:30, that's £15 a ticket. And there's another one of the English tunes practice sessions for any instrument, English traditional folk at the Elephant and Castle. And as I said before, the ban on size kazoo is still in place. Thursday the 25th, Slaughter and the Dogs, punk rock at the Con Club. That's 7:30 and £18. You can get tickets for that from Size Sounds. Friday the 26th, the Doctors are doing prog and folk rock at the Con Club at 9 p.m. To be announced on the prices there. Saturday the 27th, Matt Quinn and Owen Woods, English Traditional Folk, CD launch at the Elephant and Castle at 8 p.m. That one's £7. If you like your Northern Soul, then Loose Caboose are doing a DJ night at the Con Club at 9 p.m. That's Saturday the 27th. And the last one, Sarah Oshlag, Jazz at the Snowdrop on Monday the 29th, 8 p.m, and it's free.
We like free gigs. We love free gigs, don't we?
We do indeed. If you like your gigs anyway, there's a lot going on in Lewes and the surrounding area at the moment. And Si has got tickets for a lot of the stuff that's going on at the Con Club. Tonight is Steve Ignorant's Slice of Life. He's still got tickets for that. The 12th of April, Chelsea are at the Con Club. Who's next? There's Slaughter and the Dogs, of course. On the 28th, the Alabama 3 are doing an acoustic set. There's a couple of gigs going on in Brighton. Si doesn't have tickets for the Brighton gigs, but the Svetlanas are playing the Hope and Ruin on the 6th of May. On the 12th, the UK Subs are at the Hope and Ruin. On the 15th of May, the Electric Six are at the Con Club here in Lewes. I don't think he's got any tickets left for that one. He might have one or two if you beg him. On the 20th, the Devils are at the Con Club. On the 25th, the Verucas are at the Hope and Ruin.
I've heard of the Verucas.
Neither have I. Well, I have, but not that band. On June the 2nd, the Subhumans are at the Con Club. July 13th, Penetration are back at the Con Club. And then there's two at the Brighton Open Air Theatre in September. The Punks Picnic on the 7th, and Spear of Destiny play One-Eyed Jacks on the 27th. If you want more information for all of those gigs, go to facebook.com/bigblueshed or We Got Tickets or ctickets.com. All information is available there.
Fantastic. So there's a fair bit going on. We're not going to be... we're replete for gigs, I think, in the Lewes area.
I forgot one.
What's that?
Thursday, the 30th of May, here at Westgate Chapel, Death and Vanilla. The cult Swedish trio bring their atmospheric psych pop to the intimate Westgate Chapel in celebration of their latest release. The album is Are You a Dreamer? With special guests and visuals by Inner Strings. £12 a ticket from We Got Tickets and local record shops, including Sight Sounds, I believe. Or there are a few on the night, £14 on the door.
Fantastic. Death and Vanilla's a great name.
It's a great name and it's a great sound if you've never heard it. The album is being promoted by Fire Records, and this is a Melting Vinyl and Lewes Psychedelic Festival presentation. It's going to be great. I'll probably be there. I'll probably have to do the bar. It's usually what happens. But if you like your Swedish music or your psych pop, you're going to have a great night.
Do you know what? This sounds really daft, but I'm really tempted to come for that. It is a school night. It is on a school night, but I'm just looking at...
You haven't finished your GCSEs yet?
Well, I think I'm going to... It's half term, and I'm going to be in Cornwall. I think I'll be back by then, though. The kids are on half term, so I've got no idea what else they're going to be doing. They're busy children, what can I tell you? They've got such busy and active lives. I've got to work out their timetable before I can work out my own. So I think I've told you all the things that are happening, and you've been told what's happening locally. So shall we do some world news as well? Shall we find out what's going on in the world with Alexa?
If she's not sulking.
Alexa? Oh, she's there. Can we have the news, please, Alexa?
Here's your news. In weather, in Lewes, it's 10 degrees Celsius with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can expect intermittent clouds, with a high of 13 degrees and a low of 7 degrees. From BBC Sports News.
The latest BBC Sport update.
Jockey Mark Walsh is set to partner leading hope Annabel Fly in this afternoon's Grand National after intended rider Barry Geraghty broke a leg in a fall yesterday. Walsh's place on Regal and Core is expected to be taken by Aidan Coleman, who will be replaced on Just Apart by Jonathan Burke. Last year's winner, Tiger Roll, is aiming to become the first horse since the legendary Red Rum 45 years ago to win the National back-to-back. Danny Cook is riding one of Tiger Roll's main challenges, Vintage Clouds.
My horse is very straightforward. I get him out the gate and just keep him very handy, let him see what he's doing. If I'm coming to free out, I'd like to just, if I am close by, I'd like to just follow Tiger Roll through and just coming over 2 out, and then hopefully then I can just follow him through up the running.
Meanwhile, jockey Rachel Blackmore joins Lizzie Kelly as women seeking to make history by winning the National for the first time. Blackmore is riding Valsha Lido. They came 8th last year. She says she's not going to overthink it.
I suppose I just want to make it past the chair this year anyway. That'd be a good start to the day. But look, I don't think you can get too wrapped up in things ahead of that race. You're just trying to get a nice clear passage around. Keith Donoghue got a great ride off Val's leader last year. He finished 8th, so he's got a stone less in his back this year. So look, really looking forward to it.
You can hear the race in full at 5:15 on 5 Live. Meanwhile, Manchester City will hope to edge closer to winning that quadruple today. They face Brighton in the semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley. City have only lost once to Brighton in 11 meetings since the South Coast side knocked them out of the FA Cup in 1983. But Pep Guardiola insists he won't field a weakened team.
Doesn't matter the position at the table in the Premier League. I think few teams in the Championship or lower division got the finals for the FA Cup, so that is an important game, and we're going to play with the best side as possible. All the side for the way they play, the way we want to attack better and defend better.
Commentary of that on 5 Live from 5:30. There are just 3 games in the Premier League today. You can hear commentary of Newcastle v Crystal Palace from St James's Park at 3 o'clock on 5 Live. Newcastle manager Rafa Benitez is wary on Crystal Palace's form on the road.
I think that they have won 6 games away and 4 at home, so that means that they are a very good side when they play away, and the reason why is simple. They're well organised, it's a compact team, and they have pace and ability up front. So in the wide areas and the strikers, so they have pace, they have ability, and they are quite dangerous, it's true.
Elsewhere, Bolton's championship game with Ipswich will go ahead this afternoon after engineers fixed a critical IT failure at the University of Bolton Stadium. The game had been in doubt yesterday because of the issue. Ben Stokes says his involvement in a fight near a Bristol nightclub in 2017 and the subsequent court case could be the best thing that's ever happened to him. The England and Durham all-rounder was found not guilty of a fray. The incident caused Stokes to miss the last Ashes series in Australia. He's told the Daily Mirror the incident has changed him for the good. And finally, Jack Lisowski leads Scott Donaldson 8-1 in the semi-final of the China Open snooker. Neil Robertson and Luca Bressel are tied at 4 frames all in the other semi.
BBC Sport. From BBC News.
The BBC.
From today, 10 million UK workers will have to pay more into their workplace pension. The amount you're expected to contribute has gone from 3 to 5% of your salary. Jasmine Birtles is a consumer finance expert.
It does mean that your pay packet is going to look smaller, but your future self will thank you for this, particularly as you're getting essentially free money from your employer and also free money from the government. This is tax that you would have paid and it goes straight into your pension pot.
One of the country's biggest home builders, Persimmon, says there'll be an independent review into the quality of its housing. There have been numerous complaints about properties it sold under the Help to Buy scheme. Solicitor Timothy Waite says he takes calls every day from people unhappy about their new homes.
I'm not talking about dodgy kitchen units. I'm talking about major structural failings. People are making mistakes, potentially because they don't realise the significance of what they are doing due to a lack of training, a lack of experience and a lack of supervision overall.
Downing Street insists it's prepared to pursue alterations to Theresa May's Brexit deal and is ready for more talks with Labour this weekend. 3 days of discussions ended without an agreement yesterday. The shadow Brexit Secretary Sir Keir Starmer said the government had not offered any changes to its existing plan. Meanwhile, the first British passports without the words European Union on the cover have been sent out, despite the delay to Brexit. Dark blue passports resembling the pre-EU British design are due to be issued from the end of the year. At the moment, they're still burgundy. A soldier who walked towards a smouldering bomb that detonated on a London Underground train is being awarded the Queen's Commendation for bravery. Evidence collected by Lieutenant Colonel Craig Palmer is said to have been vital in the conviction of the Parsons Green bomber. 50 people were injured in the attack in 2017. And Sunny Beach in Bulgaria has been named as the cheapest European resort for UK travellers. A report by the Post Office says prices there are a third lower than its closest competitor.
BBC News. That's all for now.
Thank you, Alexa. And we were mid-chat then. That's why I wasn't really paying attention. And I was going to go straight into a song. So that tells you I really wasn't paying attention.
Baby, do you understand me now? Sometimes I feel a little mad. But don't you know that no one alive can always be an angel? When things go wrong, I seem to be bad. I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. Baby, sometimes I'm so carefree with a joy that's hard to hide. And sometimes it seems that all I have to do is worry, and then you're bound to see my other side. I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. If I seem edgy, I want you to know that I never mean to take it out on you. Life has its problems, and I get my share. And that's one thing I never mean to do, 'cause I love you. Oh, 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 baby, don't you know I'm human? I have thoughts like any other one. Sometimes I find myself alone regretting some foolish thing, some little sinful thing I've done. I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please misunderstood. Yes, I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. Yes, I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
The Animals. I do like the Animals. They made it. I was looking for some. I was going through some playlists yesterday and thinking, I'm going to play some bands who I never play, as well as bands that I always play, because I find it's easy to fall into the trap of always playing the same music, isn't it? Because you like it. So I thought I'm going to play some bands that I don't that often. So there will be a few different artists and a few different songs, just because I quite fancy a bit of sort of changing it up a bit. So, yeah. And we have got another interview to play, haven't we?
We have indeed. This is something... excuse me. I can't remember the dates on this. How bad is that? This is a music teacher and musician, Lisa Guile. And she's running a music workshop for all abilities. And she also sat down with John Russell. And this one's interesting because we finally found somewhere for Si to
I was
play
going to
his
say,
kazoo.
even Simon's ability.
Even Si, yeah.
Radio Lewes. Wi-Fi radio.
It is indeed Radio Lewes, and it is indeed available via all brands of Wi-Fi, if that makes sense. It's my great pleasure to welcome Lisa Giles. No, not Giles, Giles, isn't it? These are Giles. Giles. I wonder if that's where Giles came from, Lisa. I'm not sure.
No. I think I have French origins, actually.
You do. Good. I'm pleased to hear that. Gil. Yeah.
Gil, yeah.
Excellent. Now, Lisa, you've got a workshop coming up at Westgate Chapel on Saturday, the 27th of April, and this is to do with your musical endeavours, teaching and playing, including with the wonderful Scartoons. Can you tell me about the workshop?
Yeah, sure. Well, the idea for the workshop came from my pupils, actually. I teach saxophone and clarinet privately, and I teach a lot of adult pupils who have very different levels of experience and very different things that they want to do, but often they would tell me that there's no chance for them to get together with other people and to play music. Particularly as often your options, really, for that are sort of to join an amateur music-making ensemble, for which there's often a kind of minimum entry requirement and a certain expectation of reading music, or maybe to join a kind of more kind of band-based thing. I know that Starfish run ensembles for adults, and that's more of a kind of in sort of pop music vein. So I think this is for people who just want to sort of play and experiment on their instruments in an ensemble and, create their own music, really.
And what sort of instruments are we talking about for this?
I would like to be open to anything, really. I mean, I think percussionists as well. I think it's going to be the type of music that we end up making together will simply depend on who's there. So we could have, 6 violins and a tuba. We could have a keyboard and a piccolo and whatever, really.
And what sort of genre of music would you think?
I'd like the ensemble to be as free as possible, really, in sort of the widest sense. So if people had a particular genre that they love, for instance, if they love ska, we could try and incorporate that into pieces. But I think it would always, the genre is going to have to reflect who's there in the room. So then we might end up playing a bit of ska that might then mutate into some prog rock and then might mutate into some kind of contemporary classical music. That's the exciting thing, really. I think we're going to see how the music develops.
I think it'd be very interesting to hear ska played on the tuba. I can't imagine what that would be like.
Oh, yes, there's ways and means.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, we could do anything.
Great. And what's the cost?
£20 for this initial workshop, which is a 2-hour workshop. And if people want to take this further and sort of make an ensemble that meets regularly, then I think, we would talk then as an ensemble about, how regular people want to make it and the length of session that works for people, and sort of go from there. This is just a kind of initial trial, really.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
How do people book? Where do they get?
Well, I think on the I've got an advert coming out in Viva Lewes, and there's also going to be a couple of posters around town, and I've put my email address on there and my website, and people can book. I think my phone number's on there too, so people can just contact me. And I think a lot of people might want to talk a bit about what they do and their level of experience, because that can be so different. And often, even my own pupils, can be quite worried about coming along to something like this and thinking that, am I good enough, or I haven't really done this and haven't done that. But really, it genuinely is for everybody. If you can play a few notes on your instrument, you can come along.
Okay, well, I can't play a few notes on an instrument, but that's another story.
I'd like to develop it so that people who didn't play instruments could come too. I mean, another inspiration for this project has been a recent project that I've carried out at Chailey Heritage Special Needs School. It was a collaboration between Chailey Heritage and Chailey Secondary, where we had 4 profoundly disabled young people working with 4 able-bodied young people, making instruments together and playing together. And we had some awesome music that was produced, which just showed to me how there really are no barriers. There shouldn't be any barriers to music making. I'd like to think about that in future. If anybody wants to come and doesn't play a standard instrument, then I think we should be able to incorporate that.
That sounds really exciting. And can you give the web address, please, Lisa?
Yes, it's Lewes Woodwind, one word, leweswoodwind.co.uk.
Okay, leweswoodwind.co.uk. And that's Saturday the 27th of April at between 3 and 5 p.m. and £20 and at the Westgate Chapel.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, Lisa, thank you very much for that, and good luck with Scartoons and everything else you do. And thanks for talking today.
Brilliant, thanks very much.
Bye.
After one whole quart of brandy, like a daisy I'm awake, with no broma seltzer handy, I don't even shake. Men are not a new sensation, I've done pretty well, I think, but this half-pint imitation put me on the blink. I'm wild again, beguiled again, a simpering, whimpering child again, bewitched, bothered and bewildered am I. Couldn't sleep and wouldn't sleep when love came and told me I shouldn't sleep, bewitched, bothered and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, but what of it? He is cold, I agree. He can laugh, but I love it, although the laugh's on me. long for the day when I'll cling to him, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. He's a fool and don't I know it, but a fool can have his charms. I'm in love and don't I show it, like a babe in arms. Love's the same old sad sensation. Lately I've not slept a wink since this half-pint imitation put me on the blink. I've sinned a lot, I mean a lot, but I'm like sweet 17 a lot, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I'll sing to him, each spring to him, and worship the trousers that cling to him. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. When he talks, he is seeking words to get off his chest. Horizontally speaking, he's at his very best. Vexed again, perplexed again. Thank God I can be oversexed again. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Wise at last, my eyes at last are cutting you down to your size at last. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered no more. Burned a lot, but learned a lot, and now you are broke, so you earned a lot. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered no more. Couldn't eat, was dyspeptic. Life was so hard to bear. Now my heart's antiseptic since you moved out of there. Romance, Finny, your chance, Finny. Those ants that invaded my pants, Finny. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered no more.
A spectacular Ella Fitzgerald and Bewitched, Bothered and Bewildered. I was just sort of just doing a little bit of a search around for really lovely music. I don't know what inspired it. I saw a little bit. I follow a Twitter handle which is Historic Pictures, and there was like a little video clip. And there were all these artists, black female artists from the 40s and 50s who some are completely unknown and others are lesser known. And I just thought it'd be really interesting to kind of play some of the lesser known ones. I mean, obviously everyone's heard of Ella Fitzgerald. That's why there are so many kids called Ella. But it's nice to sort of hear some of the other ones as well. And I was just having a kind of wistful afternoon doing that. So I might do a show of all of those. I think that might be something that I can do another time.
Have a listen through the King Mold back catalogue. You'd be surprised how much he plays.
Oh, yes, yeah. And that's the other thing. I don't want to tread on anyone's toes in
There's
doing
no
something
such thing
like
as treading on people's toes.
It's all music.
We're about music. It's the music that matters, and it doesn't matter who plays it.
Exactly.
I don't care if you want to play rock music. That's what I do, but if somebody else wants to do it, all the better as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. It's all lovely stuff, isn't it? So we've told you what's happening in Lewes. I've told you a little bit about the shows that are coming up. There's not a great deal of brand new stuff, but I'm going to look up some bits and pieces that are going to be on in Brighton. So if you've got want some ideas. And a couple of things that have come into my inbox recently, one of which was that Pell's Pool are going to be selling their season tickets, and I think the projected date is going to be Monday the 15th. And the other one is that the I360 in Brighton are now doing annual tickets. So you can buy an annual ticket. This used to be for resident members only, but it means that for the price of 2 tickets for 2 visits, you can visit as many times as you like in the year. I think I might ask for that for my birthday, because I think that sounds amazing. I would love the idea that every time I come down to Brighton, I could just go on the I360 on any given day. That sounds brilliant to me. So I might do that. I'm just aware that I haven't given you any of the social media. So Radio Lewes and Swazzy Rogers are both on Twitter. Radio Lewes, as the name suggests, Swazzy Rogers, SWAZIRODGERS. Again, Radio Lewes and Swazzy Rogers both on Instagram using those handles. I'm on Facebook as Swazzy Radio DJ, and Radio Lewes is as Ollie Oyster, I believe, or Ollie Oyster writes on behalf of.
I think Radio Lewes is catered for with the Ollie Oyster.
Yes.
Facebook page. And you can get in touch with DJs as well using various email. I know Steve Brooks has set up an email for his show. I have one. Nobody ever uses it. But check out the available work to find those things.
Exactly. So you can always catch us on social media, because we like to... I have to say that during the show I don't interact that much on social media because I'm doing this. But it's nice to kind of hear from people and kind of put stuff on. Now, on my Swazzy Radio DJ page, I try and put up a song every day. Sometimes it depends on the mood I'm in or what the day is and if it's a relevant day. And actually, sadly, recently it's been because a musical artist has passed away and I've played something by them. So that's not always the driver for it, but I think it's nice to share a tune every now and again that you enjoy. And this week I shared a couple that had just come into my mind or that I'd heard somewhere. It's funny when you go into a shop and you hear a song and you think, oh, I haven't heard that in ages. It's horrible at Christmas because you just hear the same 20 songs for the whole of Christmas. But someone I never hear played in shops is Billie Holiday. So I'm going to play a few now.
April in Paris, chestnuts in blossom, holiday tables under the trees. April in Paris, this is a feeling no one can ever reprise. I never knew the charm of spring, never met it face to face. I never knew my heart could sing, never missed a warm embrace, till April in Paris. Whom can I run to? What have you done to my heart? I never knew the charm of spring, never met it face to face. I never knew my heart could sing, never missed a warm embrace, till April in Paris. Whom can I run to? What did you mean to? What have you done to my
Billie Holiday, April in Paris. Some of them are thematic. I've kind of thought it through a little bit. Not entirely, but some of it. So that's that, really.
Sorry.
We've gone to the chilled out bit of the afternoon now. Well, it's not even afternoon yet, is it? It feels like afternoon, but it's 11:30 at the moment. So is it the Grand National today?
I've no idea.
Now, someone was going around doing a sweepstake at work, so I think it's the Grand National, which I did not place any bets on because horses have a horrible time in the Grand National, and I do not support it. But I do understand that people wanted to put money into the sweep because I think some of the pot was going to cats protection. And the guy that runs it is a really nice guy, and he doesn't support animal cruelty in any way. But there you go. If you have got a flush on the Grand National, I hope that you win.
I do think if you're going to give money to charity off a sweep from the Grand National, you really ought to give it to
a horsey charity.
Maybe the Donkey Sanctuary or...
True.
I can't remember the name of the other one, but, so many horses are having a rough time. There was an absolutely hideous story on local news a few weeks back where somebody basically dumped a dead horse.
Oh, my God.
In the gateway to a field and drove away.
Oh, no.
I mean, when did your local village become the dumping ground?
Yeah.
I really don't understand.
I mean, that's the worst kind of fly tipping. I've never heard of anything as awful as that. But then I do follow a Lewes page where there were stories about animals being left.
No, I won't say what.
Yeah.
That would have been an inner voice escape. I won't say it.
But there's some horrible things going on, horrible people around as well. But the horse side of things is. Well, the horse side of things. I was going to say, we went to the New Forest last week, took mother-in-law for lunch for Mother's Day and drove through the New Forest. And it was a lovely warm day. So we actually saw every single animal, I think, every type of animal that lives in the New Forest. So we saw donkeys and horses and cows and we saw sheep, all sorts of animals. And the children were absolutely delighted to see donkeys crossing the road because obviously they live in the New Forest, or they roam. They have the right to roam. So if they cross the road, you just have to wait. You can't rush, which somebody hadn't explained to the BMW driver coming over the bridge the other way as he tried to overtake the herd of cows.
Yeah.
And I got very cross. Oh, I got very cross. I thought, look, the cows were here before you, mate. Just wait. So I really hope that he got on the wrong side of an animal, the other side as well, and was made to wait for a very long time. Because they were here first. They deserve to be left alone, really. That's what I think.
Well, when you're driving through somewhere like the New Forest, animals don't know what roads are. If they want to get to the field on the other side of the road or the bit of woodland on the other side, they will go. And it's stupidity. You're only going to damage your car if you hit one of them.
Exactly, yeah. The animal's not going to give way.
Surely your journey isn't that important that you're willing to damage your car in the process.
Oh, clearly it was. He was willing to overtake a whole herd of cows to do it.
Idiot.
I know. I was quite cross. I managed to stop myself from jumping out and shouting at him, but it's one of the rare occasions when I did that. not the safest person behind the wheel of a car if I get cross with someone, but I don't ever take action, thank goodness. When I was driving to Lewes this morning, I noticed that the petrol station just outside Lewes has taken all its signs off, so I'm wondering if they've changed hands, whether they're rebranding.
Which one, on the A27?
Yeah.
I've no idea. I was using them quite regularly because they were cheaper than buying fuel in town, but it had gone up again, so there wasn't much point.
They're an independent as well, aren't they? That's the other reason I use them.
I think they are.
Yeah.
They were called Power.
Yeah, so I'm wondering whether they've changed hands or whether they're just putting up a new sign, a new shiny sign.
I don't know.
We'll find out. We shall find out before long. So I'm going to be back in 2 weeks' time, and you're going to be here next week, aren't you?
I am indeed.
And we're going to be alternating from here on in. The last couple of weeks were a bit of an anomaly because of Mother's Day and stuff like that. But from here on, we're going to be doing alternate weeks.
On that subject,
yes.
For some reason, I had it in my head that you were in last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And I won't mention the B word, but I bought some CDs in because there was one song I wanted from this collection.
Yeah.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you listen to the lyrics, it's very like where we are right now. And the time was getting on. She's not here yet. She hasn't texted me. I'm just going to check the diary. And your name wasn't. I thought, oh, well, I'll have to do this now. And I had to make it up on the spot. And do you know what? I'm quite proud of myself. I managed to pull off a flawless show with no preparation whatsoever.
You know what? Sometimes being thrown in at the deep end does you no harm. I'm sorry about that. We've not been communicating with each other very well recently. It's not been the best, but
it was entirely my fault. You did give me the dates. For some reason, I just had it in my head that you were in because I'd done the week before.
Yeah, so we do alternate normally.
But I knew there was a gap. But I thought it was the following week.
Never mind. It all worked out.
So the lesson is check the diary before you assume anything.
But we are going to be doing proper alternating from here on. So that's how it's going to be. And yeah, I mean, we might do the occasional one together, I think, if time allows. And because it's the Easter break at the moment, I'm going to play you another song and then I'm going to tell you what Easter activities are going on in case you want to go and take your kids out, or if you want to go out, there's nothing to stop you from doing an Easter egg hunt. I keep telling this to all my friends.
Yeah, adults can stuff their face with chocolate just as much as kids.
It's just as much your Christian holiday that's got nothing to do with chocolate as it is anything else.
You can cry a million tears. You can wait a million years. If you think that time will change your ways, don't wait too long. When your morning turns to night, who'll be loving you by candlelight? If you think that time will change your ways, don't wait too long. Maybe I've got a lot to learn. Time can slip away. Sometimes you gotta lose it all before you find your way. Take a chance and play your part. Make romance, it might break your heart. But if you think that time will change your ways, don't wait too long. It may rain, it may shine. Love may age like fine red wine. But if you think that time will change your ways, don't wait too long. Baby, you and I've got a lot to learn. Don't wanna waste another day. Maybe you gotta lose it all before you find your way.
That is the wonderful Madeleine Peru. I think that's how you say her name, Madeleine Peru. And Don't Wait Too Long. Lovely song. Now, if you want to know what to do over Easter, Petworth House have got a Cadbury Easter egg hunt, which is a big thing that goes on every year. Bertram Bunny's Easter Adventure is at Board Hill Garden, Haywards Heath. Parham Easter opening at Parham House. It's from Sunday the 21st to Monday the 22nd of April. I'm just trying to see what's involved in that. It sounds interesting, doesn't it? Except, of course, when you want something to open quickly, it doesn't. Families are warmly welcome to enjoy some Easter fun at Parham with garden trail, face painting, craft activities and storytelling. There is something for everyone. You do need to pay an entry fee, however, to go to that. Easter at Mitchell Priory, it's from Friday at 1 o'clock. That's Friday the 19th of April. There is also a Cadbury's Easter egg hunt at Nyman's in Handcross. Monk's House also have the Cadbury's Easter egg hunt. Easter at the Museum, Weald and Down and Living Museum. That's from 8th to the 22nd of April, so that's come from Monday coming up. There's also a family Easter egg hunt at Highwoods, Pear Tree Lane. The Cadbury Easter egg hunt is also running at Burling Gap. Battle Abbey have got the Easter Adventure Quest. Now, I took my kids to Battle Abbey last year and they absolutely loved it. It's a really, really good day out. You can join the hunt for dragon eggs on a legendary quest this Easter holiday. Crack the clues as you and your family follow the trail around the Abbey grounds. Intrepid adventurers who track down the dragon egg will get a certificate and a sticker to prove it, and there'll be a chocolate treat too. You can get a questing at Battle every day of the school holidays. It costs just £1 per child and there is no need to book. It's open. The season is from 6th of April to the 22nd of April, Monday to Sunday, 10 till 5. So that sounds like a good fun activity. You can go to the Ultimate Frisbee Camp, which is at the University of Sussex on the 11th and the 12th of April, if you fancy frisbeeing. Easter at Bolney Wine Estate. Now, this doesn't sound like a family activity. This sounds like very much a grown-up activity to me, and all the better for it. Children are invited to experience our vineyard trail, which takes you on the route around the vineyard. Complete our activity sheet and claim your free Easter egg. The trail is free and a map can be found at the 18-acre. We'll be running a special Easter-themed brunch menu across the whole Easter weekend, and the cafe and restaurants open daily from 9 till 5, and that's at the Bolney Wine Estate. I don't know the wine estate. Bodiam Castle has also got an Easter egg hunt, which looks like the Cadbury hunt again, as do Uppark House and the Novia Museum in Chichester, and Alfriston Clergy House. And Worthing have got the Fairy Tale Fair at Easter, and that's on Easter Sunday. This is quite confusing. The Fairy Tale Fair, not easy to say if you've not got your teeth in.
I thought you said the Fairy Tale Fair. I thought, that sounds interesting.
It's brought to you by the Fairy Tale Fair and the Northbrook Friends of St Barnabas fundraising group. It's a craft and design fair that features over 70 craft stalls plus lots of magical extras. And it's in aid of St Barnabas Hospice, which is a local independent charitable hospice working in Worthing. Worthing Deputy Mayor will open the event at 10:30. There'll be live performances and special guests including Sussex Ghostbusters. Sounds great. And there will, of course, be the obligatory face painting, so you can come out looking like Batman or Spider-Man. And then we've got, the Cadbury Easter egg hunt is on at Devil's Dyke in Brighton. Also, there's one at Robertsbridge, and Hopping Easter Adventure at Fisher's Farm Park. Again, that's another one. It's not easy to say. April 6th to April the 23rd from 10 in the morning till 5 in the evening. Experience a hopping Easter adventure at Fisher's Farm this Easter holidays. Meet the Easter Bunny and Blossom the Spring Queen in the exciting family favourite Easter egg hunt. That's for Easter weekend only. Follow the clues and find a delicious surprise. Hop over to the Animal Encounters barn to see the cute newborn lambs. Some lucky visitors might get to bottle feed them on the daily farm shows. Meet other fluffy friends, including chicks, baby goats, baby bunnies, and so much more in the animal handling sessions. My kids absolutely love stuff like that. And they've been told that they have to always wash their hands after they've touched animals. Lego Brick Civilizations Show, Easter holiday fun at Kent and East Sussex Railway. This sounds amazing. Anything to do with Lego, my kids are right in there. The Kent and East Sussex Railway will be hosting another amazing Lego exhibition following the outstanding success of Bricks Britannia. Civilization celebrating mankind's achievements brick by brick will be at Tenterden Station from 6th to 22nd of April. It will feature stunning Lego models, including full-size figures from civilizations around the world, including Aztec, samurai, warrior, Egyptian pharaoh, and an ancient Greek philosopher. As well as learning about ancient civilizations, passengers can pose for selfies with the life-size figures in colourful costumes, and they can build their own models from Lego bricks and add them to the huge world map. So that is Kent and Sussex Railway. If you want to go to Rye, Cadbury Easter egg hunt at Lamb House. West Durrington have got the Easter egg hunt fun litter pick. There you go, might as well get the kids doing some work. Breakfast or tea with the Easter Bunny at Pulborough Garden Centre, which you can book. My kids love doing stuff like that. More the breakfast than anything else. Easter egg rolling competition at Devil's Dyke, and that's on Monday the 22nd at 10:45. So get down there if you want to roll your eggs down the hill. Hopefully it will be dry. And there's another Easter craft fair at Field Place Manor House, and lots and lots and lots more besides. Oh, there's an Easter weekend yoga retreat in Brighton if you fancy a yoga retreat. I haven't done yoga in over a year. It's not very good, is it? So you can find out more about all of these Easter activities. I did a quick search online. So there's loads and loads of stuff going on for Easter if you fancy doing that. Not all of them involve chocolate. Some of them might even involve being outdoors, which might be a bit of fun. I'm going to play you some Dinah Washington and give my voice a break, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on at the Theatre Royal.
What a difference a day made. 24 little hours. Bought the sun and the flowers. Where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine. Lord, what a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day made, and the difference is you.
Dinah Washington. I told you I was just going through a whole kind of listen to some women with beautiful voices thing. So if you fancy going to the Theatre Royal in Brighton, and why wouldn't you? The weather's nice. Go down to Brighton, go to the sea, stand on pebbles, have an overpriced ice cream. Today you can see Showstopper, the improvised musical. On Monday you can see Rotterdam, which is running until Wednesday, and that is... it's New Year in Rotterdam, and Alice has finally plucked up the courage to email her parents and tell them she's gay. But before she can hit send, her girlfriend Fiona reveals that he is always identified as a man and now wants to start living as one named Adrian. Oh, that's complicated. So that's from Monday to Wednesday. Secret Life of Fairies is on from Friday to Monday. That's Friday the 12th to Monday the 15th. Ramesh Ranganathan is going to be performing on Saturday the 13th. And then the show American Idiot is on from Tuesday the 16th to Saturday the 20th. And then, now, I'm really looking forward to seeing this one, actually. Glengarry Glen Ross, which has got Mark Benton and Nigel Harris in it, based on the 80s film. Lies, greed, corruption, it's business as usual after its sellout run in the West End, wowing critics and audiences alike. This darkly funny production of Glengarry Glen Ross is touring the UK, and the age guidance on that is 13 plus. And then Paul Young is performing on Sunday the 28th of April, which I believe is after Easter. 35 years of no parlay. There you go. And a very special evening with Russell Watson, Saturday the 4th of May. And I think we'll stop it there because we're getting into May and we can do that another time, can't we? Oh, I did mention my Left, Right Foot, the musical, earlier. On an earlier show, which sounded very funny. So if you fancy getting down to Brighton, and like I say, that I360 ticket, I did look this up. So at the moment, if you buy an individual ticket, it's an advance price. I think it's something like £15. But if you get the annual membership, I think it's something like 30 quid. I think that's right. Check it out anyway. If you go to BritishAirwaysI360.com, if you like that kind of thing. I mean, the zip wire on the seafront does appeal to me, but I just think, you know, it's a lot of money for what it is, I'll be honest. Whereas I think the I360, I think, is quite a good fun thing. And they do all sorts of things, like they do dining offers as well, so you can have dinner while you're on the I360. They do that. I don't think they do dinner on the London Eye because it goes round too quickly. You wouldn't get your dinner. But they do a dinner on a ship, on a boat.
Well, the thing is, I think they've had to start offering dinners because the I360 gets stuck so much.
Does it? Well, when we were on it, it did actually manage to go all the way to where it was going and back again. But I know on a windy day it does get a bit temperamental, don't we all? I know the feeling. Now, you know that I like playing the Beatles, and you know that I like early Beatles more than anything. So I thought I'd play one that I don't play very often.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but try to make me go to rehab. I won't go, go, go. I'd rather be at home with Ray. I gained about 70 days. 'Cause there's nothing you can teach me that I can't learn from Mr. Hathaway. I didn't get a lot in class, but I know it don't come in a shot glass. They try to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, no, no, no. I ain't got the time, and if my daddy thinks I'm fine, just try to make me go to rehab. I won't go, go, go. The man said, why do you think you hit? I said, I got no idea. I'm gonna lose my baby. So I always keep a bottle near. He said, I just think you're depressed. It's me, yeah, baby, and go ahead. They try to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, you're no, no, no. I don't ever wanna drink again. I just need a friend. I'm not gonna spend 10 weeks. Have everyone think I'm on the map. And it's not just my pride. It's just till these tears have dried. They try to make me go to rehab. I say no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, you're no, no, no. I ain't got the time, and if my daddy thinks I'm fine, he's trying to make me go to rehab. I won't go.
Went from the Beatles to Amy Winehouse there.
Why not?
Exactly. I loved that song. I think I've said before, when it first came out, I just listened to it constantly. Everything about it worked for me.
It's the first time I ever bought a jazz album.
Was it?
Yeah.
I loved Amy. Such a shame. Such a shame. And she was, when she did other people's songs, she did them so well.
Yeah.
So well. I mean, that's why the Zootons owe her such a great debt, because everyone thinks that Valerie is her song.
King Mob has just done a show dedicated to, I've just forgotten his name, how terrible is that? Sam Cooke.
Okay.
And he played Amy Winehouse's version of Cupid on that show.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. He wasn't sticking to just Sam Cooke singing his stuff. He wanted to show how influential it was for other artists. So.
Beautiful. I think I'm going to have to do a show of fantastic female singers, and she's definitely going to be in there. With her amazing voice. I remember seeing her interviewed by Simon Amstel and Makita Oliver in the very early days, when she still hadn't quite found that persona of hers, and she just came across as being a good laugh, which I think is how I like to remember her. Thank you so much for listening to us this morning. If you didn't hear all of the show, do go back and listen to it on Spotify or on Spreaker, and you can always download it and listen to it later on. Make yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a glass of wine, whatever your tipple of choice is, and a good packet of biscuits, and have a listen to the great music and a couple of interviews we had today as well. It's been good fun to be in the studio with you again, Ben.
Thank you very much.
It's been too long.
It has been a while.
And Ben will be with you next Saturday. between 10 and 12. And then
the usual drivel.
And I will be back with you 2 weeks' time from 10 till 12. You can use all our social media links to get in touch, and you can always let us know if there's something that you want to talk about on Radio Lewes. Let us know, and we can either mention it, or if you fancy having a chat with us, we can always do an interview with you. We're going to finish up with Elvis Costello in the attractions and shipbuilding, and as I say, join us again same time next week, and keep listening to Radio Lewes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Is it worth it? And you into coat and shoes for the wife, and a bicycle on the boy's birthday. It's just a rumor that was spread around town by the women and children. Soon we'll be shipbuilding. The boy said, Dad, they're going to take me to task, but I'll be back by Christmas. It's just a rumor that was spread around town. Somebody said that someone got killed in for saying that people get killed in the result of this shipbuilding. With all the will in the world, diving for dear life, and we could be diving for pearls. could be diving for power.
Radio Lewes. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.